Come on in, everyone. Come on in and find a chair, preferably a little closer to the front. We don't want the cameras in the back just showing empty chairs on the news tonight. Carlton's here. Carlton, you'll sit in front. No. Cause, you're sitting here. Okay. Scott is sitting here. Dr. Gardner's sitting here. Okay, over here. Hi, Dee. Front row, please. Where are Liz and Tiffany? Good turnout. Where's Miss Fratto? I need a thumbs up when you're ready. Are we close? It's 11 o'clock. We're going to start on time. Zoom has done that to us all now. All meetings start on time. We don't wait. What an honor it is to be here today among so many great friends and community leaders and supporters. My name is Tom Love. I'm the founder and president of Love Communications, and I have the honor on working with Mr. Kaz Semnani and his team on bringing his vision to reality today, to this launch event. One Kind Act Today is Kaz Semnani's vision, and you're going to hear a lot about kindness today. When we were planning this launch event in late January, we were imagining a beautiful spring day. It was to be outside here on the lawn with food trucks and balloons and children and musicians and signs and all the things that you see that are still out there, but we're in here. So we had envisioned just a great outdoor campaign, and then the governor said, we need to pray for rain. Well, I blame it on him. Yes, sir. But this is still a fabulous setting. The team's done an incredible job. We're going to hear from some great speakers today. I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Kaz Semnani, and he will share a few words about his vision for kindness in the world and One Kind Act Today, not only for the recipient, but for the giver of kindness. And then we'll hear from Governor Spencer Cox, and then we will hear from Mayor Erin Mendenhall, though I don't see that the mayor has arrived yet. So Kelly, keep an eye out for her and bring her up to this chair. I did text with her AA this morning, and she was planning on being here at 11, so we'll watch for the mayor. Following the mayor, we will have Scott Anderson, CEO of Zions Bank. Scott has embraced this for his bank, for his employees and customers alike, and we'll talk about numerous ways that Zion is embracing this and help spreading the message. There's the mayor. Come on up, mayor. Everyone give the mayor a hand. Fresh from the White House, Mayor Erin Mendenhall. Thank you, you're fine. That's great. That's it. You were doing a kind act, that qualifies, right? That's fabulous. You will, Mayor, you will follow the governor in your remarks. You'll follow the governor. Scott follows you, and then we'll hear from Dr. Noel Gardner, a close friend of Kaz's and a doctor who will talk about the science of kindness. Then we have a special surprise of two guest speakers, some sisters who are ambassadors of kindness. And after that, we will see a 3.5-minute video. You'll see it on the screens here. It'll be a fabulous celebration and launch event. I thank all the media for being here. I thank all of you for being here. Derek, thanks for coming. And I thank our guest speakers. And with that, let me turn it over to Mr. Kaz Semnani of the Semnani Family Foundation and the visionary of One Kind Act Today.
Thank you very much. I'm not just catch my breath and kind of feel the moment for a minute. This is big for me. This is probably, I've never done anything this big, and I was just mentioning to the governor, and I said, Governor, I don't know where this thing is going, but it's going. We've got to figure out how we can direct it, because it is today, it's an important day, and probably 90% of the who's who of Utah are here today. And I thank you for that. I sincerely thank you for that, from all religions, background, colors, everything. But where this project is going is not for Utah alone. It starts in Utah. We are honored that we are starting it in Utah, but it's going worldwide, and I intend to take it worldwide. Thank you. Thank you. And it is very interesting. We went to just as a matter of background, we went to a luncheon with Governor and Scott, Luke Kramer, and a couple of others, and we were just having lunch, and Governor turned around and says, what's going on? Anything new? What can I do for you? And I said, in fact, there is something going on. And this goes back to about 9 months ago, practically. And Scott was there. And I just briefly told him, just briefly after lunch, I just told him, I said, I want to push kindness everywhere. And with everything we've got, we're going to put behind it and push that. And Governor didn't blink an eye. He just said, I'm in. And that's all he said. He said, I'm in. And then about a couple of months after that, Scott and I, we were having lunch at Trolley Square and going over people who have shaped Utah. And I briefly repeated that. And Scott didn't hesitate neither. He said, cause I'm in. And so it was an easy sale. We've made an easy sale. Now we have to deliver. This is a big, hard part of it. And this is, when I say we, it's really we, because this is everybody's project. Everybody who has a heart, it is his project or her project. Because we have experience. We have experienced what is kindness in one form or the other, in one time or the other. And there is nothing that matches that. Nothing matches that. It's just like the way that we feel, how we feel about our children, how we feel about our parents, how we feel about our wives. It's just real. It's part of you. And we cannot help feeling good about it. It's just real. So that makes it easy, but what makes it hard is how we implement and deliver the message. And that's where you all come in. That's where you all come in. Just this morning, I got a little tag coming, I think it was Mark sent it, and he said, Channel 2 already signed up. It says, Channel 2, something about be kind to your fellow man. It just said that. People are picking up their own view of it, and that's what's really supposed to be. So I got it off my chest now. I can feel comfortable what I had to say. Now, let's get serious here. I really want to thank all of you who came here, and I really want to take a moment and thank the people, Tom Love and his people, who are really gold, and they're angels. And we've met over and over since back in, I think it was September, October last year, and we've had our discussion, revisions, and conversation, and not arguments, but we've had our conversations. That's how we should go forward, and which is healthy, And they've done a tremendous job. And I really want to thank Tom and his people, and we should really hear from him. Thank you so much. And when I think about it, the other people that I've gone to with the same message, Mayor Mendenhall and I, we went to a lunch. We got caught by a reporter. What are you guys doing here? It's a restaurant. We are having lunch. And really, he says, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I said, okay, we are ashamed. A true story. And anyway, we sat there, and we were having lunch in the restaurant. And I was telling the mayor about this story. And it didn't take very long. We didn't even get to the dessert. She says, cause I'm in. It didn't take very much convincing. And she immediately recognized the value of it, and she was in. And her and I, we've had our differences in the past, and we probably will have some more differences in the future. But we have come to an agreement on one thing, and that is this project. We all are together on this. I went to Bishop Solis, and I mentioned that to him, and he said, after I explained it to him, he says, "Cause I'm in." He said, "We should have even a day name after it. You should talk to the governor." I said, "I'll talk to the governor." And I talked to Rabbi Zippel. It didn't take very long. He actually was present in another function where I mentioned this thing, and he came after the function. He grabbed me. He says, "Cause, I love this project." And I talked to Imam Yasser of Muslim Mosque. I'm a Muslim. And he said that it is something that Muslims promote. And he said there is a surah about that verse in the Quran about it. The funny thing about this, just back and forth, Muslims and Christians, at one occasion I was being introduced. It wasn't outside. It was just about 5 people. And a very good friend of mine, he very pleasantly said, by the way, he was introducing me to another fellow. He says, "Cause is a Muslim, but he has a Christian heart." And he was just being so sincere, and he's a wonderful guy. I love this guy. But he, you know, and I said, "Fine, you know, that's great." And I said, that's good. The reason this thing comes to my mind is, and when it comes to Hindus, I went to Hindu temple. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I didn't have the right direction. But through word, I found out that they're in support of the project as well. And we've had, you know, other religious group minorities, including Baha'is. Good friend of mine, Shahab Saeed, is here, and he's representing the Baha'is, and I've gone through him, and he's given me permission that I have their support as well. Thank you. And it is something that very early on I talked to President Ballard about this. And President Ballard, in his way, then him and I, we've been friends for at least 15 years. He says, "Cause, you know how I feel about this project, and I love this, but I have to tell you, this is a different thing, and we have to think through it, and come back to me." And then I finally found out that one of the elders came over, and he actually joined us, and he mentioned the support of the LDS Church for this, or Latter-day Saints, for the project as well. So I don't think I have to work very hard to sell the project. It's just a matter of really managing to deliver the results. That's where we all have to work. And for your information, I'm putting over tens of millions of dollars behind this thing in the form of endowment. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not just going to go up and it's going to disappear. We just go home. No, it's going to be there. This started in our family. The whole idea started in my family when I was pushing it. My son Taimur is here, John is here, Rod isn't there, and my wife is supposed to be, she's here. And we talked about it. We talked about doing one deliberate act of kindness a day. One deliberate act of kindness a day. Most of you are doing, you are wonderful people. You do kindness as a matter of course. You just do it, and that's just wonderful. But when you do it, one deliberate act of kindness, it just stays with you back of your head. And it makes your day go easier. You feel better about it yourself. And I don't know why I'm saying that, because it's my personal experience. But I feel better about it. I sleep better at night. And I deal with other people a lot better and with love and kindness during the day. So I think this is not, again, hard to sell, but it's hard to deliver and promote. And I think we need everybody's help to promote that in their own institution, in their own churches and temples and mosques, and in the places of work. And I think we're going to win this thing. We're going to make this thing happen. I can feel it, and I know it. Within 10 years, we probably would have at least something, at least maybe 3 to 4 million people a day they are buying into that, are actually doing it, because it could go viral. It could really go out. And there is nothing more important than kindness and love and care today, because of all the problems and the tension that there are in the world today. Yesterday, CBS reported that the road rage in the United States is up 17% as compared to last year. Why? Why is that? Why are we becoming so uncivilized? Why are we being so divisive? Those are the things that we should not be. Hopefully, with kindness and deliberate thinking about kindness, we can slow that trend down and maybe reverse it. And I think we can. I sincerely believe we can. And I hope with your help we can continue this effort, this campaign that starts today. I couldn't ask for better support that I have today. This is wonderful. We've got representative of businesses in Utah. Derek Miller is here, and Dinesh is here, and a lot of good people. As I said, 90% of the who's who of Utah are here, and I thank every one of you for being here. Thank you so much. And now I've been asked to introduce our very popular governor to show his support and tell us his thoughts regarding one act of kindness a day. And I have his resume, but you don't need me to read anything right now. The important thing about him for you guys to know is he's been a kind of a guy that in many ways was less unknown to us than others when he started running. But his personality, his character has made a huge change in the people that I know and I have to deal with on a daily basis. People have come around and gathered around him. He certainly was the most popular candidate to win. There's no question about that. But people didn't know him very much at the time. There are still people that they're not quite sure exactly what he stands on what. But his policies, his administration, his capabilities, and his background, most importantly, it's his background. He is a guy who is truly a Utahn and what Utah has best present. He is a sixth-generation Utahn. I didn't know that. I just saw that here. And I hope by the time my kids are sixth-generation Utahns, they're half as good as he is, and he can really deliver, because Utah is a place where I really became who I am. I was an 18-year-old kid, and I came here, and Utah has been my home. And in a word of another introduction that I had somebody else say it one other time, in the high school area, he was introducing me. He says, after I said a few words, he came out and said, if Kaz can do it, any one of you should be able to do it. So with having said that, I hope my kids can be as good as, half as good as our governor, and I don't want to take time very much longer. Thank you very much again for coming. It's a lovely day, and it's a big day for me, and I'm sure for many of you who really feel you get the vision for what kindness is and what you can do with kindness. It's not my program. It's your program. It's your feelings. And I hope you all are successful. Thank you very much, and it's an honor and a pleasure to introduce you, our governor, Governor Cox, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kaz, for that kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some chairs up here, and Tom has invited me to ask those in the back to come sit up here. I won't embarrass you, but we'll stand up for Pamela and Dinesh and everyone come in. There's lots of seats up here, so please come fill in. This is such an amazing day, and I'm so excited to be able to spend a little time with you. Khosrow, I want you to know that I hope that someday I can be described as a Christian with the heart of Khosrow Semnani. That would truly be an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, so about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, a dear friend of mine was talking to me, and we were talking about our lives and what we're going through. And he shared with me in confidence that 5 years ago he started doing one deliberate act of kindness every day, and he's been doing it every day for 5 years. And he shared with me how it changed his life, how it changed him physically, how it changed him spiritually, emotionally. I was really struck by his witness of what this decision to do a small, sometimes big, random act of kindness every single day. I became at that time fascinated with the medical piece of this, and I'm not going to steal the thunder of our doctor who's going to share this piece, but I started studying the medical science behind acts of kindness and the way the chemical makeup of the brain actually changes, the different chemicals that are released in the brain, blood pressure being lowered, all kinds of real physical things. And I was actually talking to a doctor who said that it's the cheapest pill he's ever given someone is this idea of doing a random act of kindness every day, and that he's seen lives changed and health improved because of that. And so that really fascinated me, and started trying to implement some of those changes into my own life. And shortly after that conversation with my dear friend, another dear friend of mine, Khosrow Semnani, talked to me about this idea. And that's why it was so easy for me to say that I'm in, because I believe in it. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that is every day increasingly more cynical. We will get mocked for this. We will get made fun of on social media for this concept, this idea. We'll get mocked because one, it won't make a difference. People don't really change. And two, even if we did try it, so what? It's not going to make the world any better. And I'm here to tell you that those people are wrong, that they are fundamentally, absolutely and completely wrong. I have been the recipient of acts of kindness over this past week. And I'm so grateful for those acts of kindness, including Mayor Mendenhall, who randomly reached out to me one day, knowing that I was having a rough day, and her kindness lifted me, and that's the brilliance of what this does. Of course, it lifts the giver and the receiver. It truly is a win-win. There was a great piece yesterday, I shared it on social media, by Jonathan Haidt in The Atlantic, where he talks about how we got here as a country at this very divided time. And it's fascinating. I think it's mostly very accurate, and it's very troubling. The takeaways are not great. In fact, they're fairly grim as to where we are, and the fact that it's likely to get worse before it gets better. He posits some ideas for helping to stem the tide, and some structural changes that we could do as a country to try to change the trajectory that we're on. But at the end of the day, the truth is that the only way we change is if we decide to change. We as individuals, every single one of us decides to change. That's how we change the direction of this country. There is no single policy, no single politician. There is no structural change. There is no law that we can pass. There is nothing we can do that will change the course of history unless we individually decide to change the course of history. And the way we do that, I'm convinced, is by being kind to one another. I think it is the most radical political philosophy that has ever existed. I think it's one we forgot about. I think it's the most radical religious philosophy that has ever existed. And I think it's the truth of where we need to be. It's how we become happier. Another article this week talking about how miserable our children are, how miserable young people are, and the rates of depression that have been going up over the past decade. And maybe some of the causes there. And again, when we serve others, and Utah knows this better than anywhere else because we lead the nation in service every year. But this idea of intentionally every day reaching out and doing one kind act, I believe can change the course of the world. And that's why I'm all in. Now, I have an official proclamation that I will read and sign, and then I'll turn the microphone over to our good mayor. Whereas now more than ever, the world needs more kindness. Whereas kindness can be as simple as a single smile, a thoughtful message to a friend, or just a small, unexpected gesture, the effects can be powerful. Whereas one act of kindness can brighten a moment, lift someone's spirit, and turn a bad day into a good story. Whereas kindness can become contagious. One small act of kindness can spark another small act of kindness. Whereas an act of kindness has been proven to be beneficial for both the giver and the recipient, acts of kindness can promote positive behaviors for others, provide a sense of purpose and satisfaction for ourselves, and even help us live longer. Whereas an act of kindness is an act of good health and self-care, whereas in partnership with the Semnani Family Foundation, local faith and business leaders, educators, and government leaders, the One Kind Act a Day movement will start here in Utah and create an impact that can be felt around the nation and even around the world. Whereas our community can be the nexus of rippling effects that can transform the globe with kindness, and whereas we encourage all Utahns to commit one kind of act today and every day. Now, therefore, I, Spencer J. Cox, Governor of the state of Utah, do hereby declare April 12, 2022 as One Kind Act a Day, Day in Utah. I have to end with one quick story, and I think this is appropriate. I got a call from my son on Monday night. He had accidentally backed into a car in a parking lot. He said, "Dad, I didn't think I did any damage. It was the lightest of taps. I thought it was fine, but I thought I'd get out and check." I got out. There was a huge scratch and a dent in the other car. Not much damage to his, but a huge scratch and a dent in the other car. I said, "Well, what did you do?" He said, "Well, I felt terrible." So I left a note on the windshield of the car with my name, my phone number. I left my my insurance information, and I even left my Venmo on there so that they could contact me. I said, "Well, you did the right thing," and man, kids. So the next day, he texted me. He had gotten a message from the person whose car he hit. And this person said, "Caleb, you seem like a great person. I just want you to know that that dent and that scratch was already there. You did not damage my car. And in fact, because you're such a good person, I'm Venmoing you $5 because I wanted to say thank you." So there is good in the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Perhaps it was a punishment for me arriving late that I have to follow the governor, which is... Thank you, Khosrow. And for all, I mean, it was kind of a harsh little preamble you gave about our relationship. It's not the only thing we agree on. Khosrow also loves and supports the 1,000 extra trees we're planting on the city's west side, and a lot of other things that we're pretty close to agreement on. But I think for him to tell the story of how each of us came to say I'm in shows just how far government really is from being, and large institutions, from being in a state of mind where there even really needs to be a conversation. As a country, and as the governor has said, as a people, we're at a place of making a decision. And the apathy of not making a decision will keep us on a course of degradation, of hatred, of cynicism, and I think the demise of our democracy if we are not careful in time. And the invitation of One Kind Act a Day to recenter our humanity is so simple and profound. I've never seen Khosrow more excited about any conversation than this one, every time you talk about it. And I think it's appropriate for us to extend our hearts at this moment with some applause of recognition for what a remarkable thing it is for someone like Khosrow, having so much success in his life, to stand before us as a community and say this is the biggest thing he's ever done. And that it has, while it may seem to have nothing to do with business, it has everything to do with the wellness of our entire community. And I think it's remarkable that he's made this choice and that his family's making this investment in us. So thank you, Khosrow. And Utah is the perfect epicenter for the beginning of this worldwide expansion of humanity through one act of kindness a day. We know, the highest volunteerism in the nation here in the state of Utah. We're a very compassionate people. But what I want to ask you to do is actually first turn that love and compassion into your own heart. There is so much vitriol in the world, and I know this firsthand. I think each of us do, whether you're on social media or you're simply reading the comments at the end of the paper. We have some internal love and repair to do on ourselves so that we can reflect that love and compassion on others. And my friend, the governor, was recently attacked for being a compassionate and kind human being, and characterized as a turncoat when they twisted some video to try to show something that wasn't. Governor, we need more Democrats in the state of Utah, so you're welcome, to use this as a moment to shift. I'm kidding. But I hope that the kind acts that you've been receiving over the last few days are the true reflection of how we as Utahns feel about a leader of our state who can see people and recognize people as they wish to be seen. That doesn't matter what your title is. It doesn't matter what Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever party you are, or not at all. We can all do this. I was just with a first grade class at Mountain View Elementary reading to them, and I told them their city loves them and their families, no matter where they live, who is at the dinner table, who's not there, what language they speak, how many times they've moved in their 7-year-old life. We want them here and we love them. And then I had this remarkable act of kindness of having all these little first graders suddenly come up and give me love, and give me a hug, say thank you. It didn't cost me anything. And these acts of kindness will cost you nothing. Now, you could buy dinner for the family at the table next to you, or coffee for the person in line behind you. You could help a family out in need anonymously, but you could also just smile at someone who you feel like might be kind of giving you the stare. You could choose to forgive someone who's not even asking for your forgiveness, but probably needs it. You can choose to love yourself when you make that mistake next time that you told yourself you wouldn't do again. And you love yourself into the change that we want to see in the world around us. So thank you for this least political and most human invitation. I can't wait to be someone who, at an individual level, gets to reflect the kindness that you're inviting us to remember at this critical moment in our nation's history and our community. Let's choose the trajectory that we know we're capable of, which is all centered around love and kindness. So thank you for inviting us, who are probably no better or no more capable to speak to the opportunity of kindness than our own kids or our neighbors on the street. But I'm honored to be here with you today, and thank you, Khosrow.
Well, I too would like to thank the Tsunami Family Foundation and my good friend Khosrow for bringing this campaign to Utah and to sharing it with our community. This will really have a terrific impact both on us individually, on our neighborhoods, and on our businesses. One kind act a day is something so easy for each of us to do, and yet it's truly something that can make a huge difference in our lives. While Zions Bank operates in the financial sector, at the end of the day, we are in a business of helping people. And I think helping people is what business is all about. And doing a kind act today has so many benefits, both for the individual doing the good act and for others. Keeping an eye out for the opportunity to be kind can work wonders for a stressed out mind, moving the focus from yourself to your place in the wider world and giving some much needed perspective to life. So many things are outside of our control, but brightening someone's day through acts of kindness is definitely not one of them. And studies show, as the governor has said, that being kind actually does make you happy. And as the sign in the back of the room says, kindness is contagious. We do feel better when someone is kind to us, and we certainly feel better when we are kind to others. So to help move this movement forward, I told Coz that we at Zions Bank have made a commitment to implement this campaign as part of our daily operations. Our customers, and our employees can expect to see Zions Bank spreading reminders to do a kind act today whenever and however we can. For example, we will display the One Kind Act Today message on the screens of our ATM machines throughout the Intermountain West. And we will post signs on our doors coming into and out of our buildings asking the question, have you done a kind act today? And in all of our electronic communications, we will have this message, do a kind act today. It can change our community. I too want to thank Love Communication and our creative team are working with them to find even more ways how we can promote this wonderful campaign and this wonderful message. And I hope that these messages will encourage our employees and our customers, in fact, to do a good deed a day. And I hope it will make Zions Bank a better place to work and a better place to do business with, a place where people will be happy to come to and will be happy to be associated with. And I think that's the promise of this campaign, that it benefits everyone, individuals, communities, religious organizations, and businesses. We all benefit from this. And so today I want to encourage all business leaders in this great state to adopt this program and to create a campaign of kindness within the walls of their own company. Let's support Coz and let's support the Tsunami Family Foundation in their efforts to create a better, a more loving, a more inclusive community by doing business the kind way, which is the right way. And in the end, I think it is the best way for a business to operate. Simply put, it is good for business, as good for business as it is for individuals. So let's be inspired by the messages we've heard today. Let's be inspired by the communications, and I hope everyone has seen the ads that have been playing on TV. Let's be inspired by what we'll hear from Tiffany and Elizabeth on how they are going to promote this message. And let's start today, and let's keep going until we change the world by changing Utah and by changing ourselves. I would now like to introduce and pass the mic to Dr. Noel Gardner, a professor of psychiatry at the University of Utah and also the medical director of the Plitzi Clinic, which provides mental health services at no cost to Utahns. We appreciate you being with us, Doctor, and we look forward to your comments.
Thank you. I feel greatly privileged to have been chosen to sit with these esteemed people. I'm just a little country doc. But let me just say, I'm here because of one act of kindness. Had I not received that one act, which was followed by many, many other acts of kindness, I probably would never have been here or have had the career that I've had. So one act of kindness can make a tremendous difference. But I won't tell that story today. Some of us may get acquainted, and I'll be glad to share it later. But what I can say is almost everything that's important about the science of kindness, our governor and our mayor have already talked about. But let me talk about it a little bit more. I wondered, Cos, why you asked me to speak about the science of kindness. Was it because there are skeptics who need proof, scientific proof that kindness really works? That's one kind of evidence that is important, and I believe in science, and I think there is really good science behind the science of kindness. But there's another kind of evidence as well, both of which are really important. I'll touch on the science of kindness, but the other is the proof that comes from personal experience. That is, when you've been a recipient of kindness and when you've been a giver of kindness, you have participated in an extraordinary connection with another person. We become very isolated, separated by our differences that we talk about and we argue about and fight about. We've been caught in a pandemic that has left us isolated. One of my favorite phrases is that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. And what we really long for is connection. So let me talk a little bit about the science of kindness. There are two sources to that. One is more a field of social psychology. So in the mid-90s, there was a movement started called positive psychology. Much of psychology and psychiatry had focused on mental illness and all the things that can go wrong with a person's life. And they said, let's focus on what's good, what makes us feel well, which makes us feel happy and optimistic and positive. And that was a really good thing. And there's a lot of studies to show that kindness makes people much happier, both in the receiving and in the giving. But along with that, there is a neurobiology of kindness. There are really 4 neurotransmitters. The communicating molecules in the body are primarily those in the immune system, in the endocrine system, and the neurosystem, neurotransmitters. The 4 that really become activated by kindness are serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin. Now, it's interesting that many activities stimulate all 4 of those. Things like exercise can do that. Emotional times when we feel connected to other people evoke that. So what we know is that serotonin tends to give people a sense of calming, and when that push of exercise gives us a sense afterwards of calming us, that's a reflection of the stimulation of serotonin. And behind that are endorphins. Endorphins are the part of the endogenous opiate system, one of the things we try to bypass when we use opiates inappropriately. But when we approach them appropriately, they're very healthy and they stimulate the release of dopamine, the pleasure-reward neurotransmitter that can be abused as well. So addiction sometimes tries to bypass all that good stuff that we could get in a much healthier way. But probably oxytocin is the really special one. Oxytocin is something that happens that connects mothers and babies. If a woman is having a hard time going through delivery, we often give a sort of type of oxytocin, pitocin, to get the delivery, started. And at the same time, that oxytocin does some other things. It helps the mother recover to stop bleeding, but it also releases milk so that she can start breastfeeding, and oxytocin floods that mother with a sense of connection to that baby that is a foundation for a lifetime. What it does is it creates a kind of interpersonal neurobiology, that we're not just individuals alone with these happy feelings, but that there is a kind of attunement that happens between the brain of the early developing infant and the mother that bonds them together and creates the basis of a healthy life. Interestingly, kindness creates that kind of response in all four of those chemicals that create connection and pleasure and a feeling of well-being. It does it both in the giver, but it creates that kind of interpersonal neurobiology that connects us to each other. Now, kindness, if we're altruistic, it will get a little bit of that. But if we're even more generous, you can be altruistic by giving somebody 50 cents. But if you're generous, and if that person really needs what you give them, and if there's somebody that you do it personally, you don't just write a check and send it in the mail to some obscure agency, but you yourself personally become involved in giving a kind act that they need, that you know they need, but that particularly it's potent when it's a stranger or someone you don't know. Isn't that interesting? It's the heart and soul of the Muslim religion, is to take in the stranger. So we have the capacity to stimulate such joy and happiness in our own lives and those of others. What a great privilege. Now, I'm going to step for one brief second over onto Tom's turf, because I'm aware of one of the most successful marketing campaigns that ever happened. That marketing campaign was developed by Lay potato chips. What they said is, I bet you can't eat just one. Now, Khosrow has asked us to do one kind act, but what we know from the social science literature is that if you do more of them, if you do them frequently, you do them repetitively, what happens in the brain is that we develop those pathways. We stimulate those pathways. Neurogenesis occurs. The brain becomes healthier. It becomes more readily able to recognize when people need our kindness. It helps us to feel confident to reach out and to provide the very kindness that they need. What I can tell you, Kaz, kindness makes us all feel so wonderful. It is such a joyous thing to be able to be kind and to meet the need of another person. It is such a wonderful thing. I bet we can't do just one.
Fabulous. Thank you, Dr. Gardner. What a lineup of speakers and messages. We are really, really blessed today, so thank you very much. It's my esteemed pleasure to introduce to you our pair of final speakers. Sisters, Elizabeth Radcliffe and Tiffany Hatch. Elizabeth's from Salt Lake County. Tiffany is from St. George. They are ambassadors of kindness. They exemplify kindness, and they've been living kindness, and they have a personal story to share. Following these two speakers, you'll see a 3-minute video on community leaders and other people talking about kindness again, and then we will wrap up. So we're nearing the end, but please welcome Tiffany and Liz.
Wow, what an honor to be here. If you are wondering who we are, we're just a couple of sisters who are big believers in the magic of kindness, and we feel so grateful to be here among these incredible humans and leaders to briefly share about how we feel about kindness. My daughter is in kindergarten, and in her class, the kids are taught that that everyone has a light in their heart. They call it their heart light. And through our words and actions, we can either cause another's heart light to grow or we can cause it to diminish. And through kindness, through kind words, kind actions, we are feeding another's heart light. And it's been so beautiful at her young age to watch her start to understand this idea that kindness is contagious, and that when she treats someone else with kindness, she can cause a shift in their day. She can brighten their mood, even if it's just a little bit. And then that friend is more likely to be kind to the next friend or friends that they interact with, and then those friends with the next that they interact with, and so on. And that's how kindness is contagious, and that's how it spreads. It's so powerful. It has the ability to shift energy. It has the potential to heal. So I hope that, like these kindergartners, we will choose to feed each other's heart light, that through an act of kindness, we will spread more love, light, and healing into our community and into our world.
The first thing that came to mind when I was asked to come up here, which is a huge honor, was back in the ancient days when we had VHS tapes and we'd rent them from Blockbuster or wherever. It would say, "Be kind, rewind." So we would rewind these videos for the next renter so they could start from the beginning. And you didn't know, but you were doing your act of kindness. So we're already there. It's that simple. That's all. No. I look at kindness as a noun, a verb, adjective. It's something we are. It's something we do. It's something we radiate. And I've just recently, we were driving home from Idaho, and I may or may not have cut off a truck. I didn't, but he thinks I did. And he was giving me this like thumb down sign and, flipping me the bird. And I was just like, I didn't hurt him or anything, but I know like that anger was just gonna like feed his day. And so I let him catch up to me, and I was just as simple like, I'm so sorry. And he gave back the like, oh, thank you. And for me, that changed the rest of my drive, because who are talking about the road rage thing, I know I'm part of that 17%. It's really bad, but I try to turn it into something more positive for the person that, I may have made unhappy. And in St. George, it's tricky because there are a lot of drivers that it's just really busy. It's getting harder to drive there. I won't get into that, but just the shift I saw in him made the shift in me, and it shows the proof that energy and that kindness is just, it's there. Like, it's so powerful. And I have always thought, like, if you just can just be full of kindness and love, like, that's just all you need. And I'm so, again, thankful to be among all these amazing people, and it's so nice to meet everybody. And yeah, thank you so much.
Kindness is the elixir that makes this world happy.
Kindness is important because it affects every aspect of my life. If I wake up and I'm kind to my kids, they're more likely to be kind to me and others around them, and it sets us up for a good day.
Kindness is the glue that keeps us together in times of uncertainty, chaos, and even despair. It is the antidote to suffering.
When I'm kind, my customers are kind, and they return their kindness by returning to my business.
It doesn't have to be complex. It could be a small hello to your neighbor having a bad day, or a simple thank you to a store clerk to appreciate their service.
Kindness truly is the most powerful stimulant on the planet. And if you really want to spread that but also feel it yourself, go give it away.
Kindness to me means having enough concern and care for people that you see them, you acknowledge them, you respect them, and you're interested in who they are and what is going on in their life.
All it takes is one kind act a day.
There are so many hurtful and negative comments on social media. We probably don't even realize the positive impact we'd have if we were kind to people we don't even know.
Kindness is currency, and it's currency that God gives to all of us. If we take the opportunity to just put our hands in our pocket, we can pull out kindness at any time and pay it forward.
The wonderful thing about kindness is that it really is a ripple effect. It continues on from one person to the next. So one kind gesture, a warm smile, can really have an impact on many.
If I want something good out of others, I have to be kind to them. Just as if I want something good out of my horse, I have to be kind to her, and then we'll build a great relationship together.
As a science teacher, I want to teach students to be curious and take in data from the world around them. But the most important thing is that they also learn to be kind.
Imagine if something as small and as invisible as COVID has literally brought the entire world to its knees. An act of kindness, reaching out to somebody with a smile, with an open hand, with a warm embrace. Imagine how much more powerful that is, that it can literally lift up the entire world.
Kindness may have the potential to end human suffering, animosity, wars, and hate.
Kindness is an easy way to say thank you. Buying someone's lunch without them knowing, holding someone's door open, giving a compliment when they don't even know you.
You should see the happiness that spreads across the University of Utah campus when someone does one act of kindness every day.
Kindness is powerful and transformative. It can change heart. It can transform our society. It can make our world a better place.
Any teacher is at their best when their students leave their room knowing that they deserve kindness as well as have the power to share it with others.
Every day, I try to surprise someone with a little kindness.
Never underestimate the power of one kind act.
Kindness has the power to change the world.
And all it takes
is one,
just one
Kind
act
a day
to change
the world.
I am really honored and want to thank you all for coming today. Before we adjourn, I do want to call attention to our artist friends over here in the corner. From the blocks, we have Matthew Monsoon and Brooklyn Ottens, artists, and they're doing some great work on One Kind Act a Day. Stop by and chat with them. I want to thank Mark Stevenette, Adelaide, Ashley Mark, Kelly Fratto, Austin Facer, Tiffany, Preston, all our artists. There were 20 people back at Love Communications who all brought this to fruition, and I want to acknowledge your work over the last several months. You'll be seeing messages on TV, billboard, outdoor, social media, everywhere. Embrace it. Go to the website, thepowerofkind.org. Businesses will be able to download partnership toolkits in a few weeks. You can sign up, take the pledge, blog, share your story, and help spread the message of One Kind Act a Day. I'm deeply grateful for you all coming today. We have a fabulous lineup of speakers. Thanks for everybody's efforts and cause. Thank you for your vision. Have a great day. Oh, well, you want me to mention T-shirts? Swag bags outside, a bunch of stuff to take away. There's free lunch. We have food trucks. There's free lunch out there. And there are validations, too, for parking. So there's a whole bunch of free stuff. Avail yourselves. Hi, Dee.